You know, I don't have a crystal ball when it comes to looking into the future of self-storage, but I really don't need one either. Let's talk about that. My name's Mark Helm. I'm the author of Creating Wealth Through Self-Storage, and I'm a creator of the Self-Storage Quick Start Academy. And what I do is I support small investors who want to get in the self-storage business or who want to grow their self-storage business, strategically do so in a way that creates true wealth and a fulfilling career. So as we move into the hyper supply phase of the economic cycle, and if you're not sure what I'm talking about, go to episode 165. As we move into the hyper supply phase of the economic cycle, I can tell you pretty much what's coming. Market by market. So in simple terms, market by market, or more accurately, submarket by submarket. As more supply hits those submarkets, there will be more product than demand. Rental rates will start to go down and occupancy will start to go down. But most importantly, lease up will start to slow down. And this is usually spurred by new construction. So when things are going great, occupancy rates are high, rental rates are high, people look around, see how well self-storage is doing. All of a sudden, out of the woodwork comes all types of people who've never been in the self-storage business. That's fine. And they start building product. And in submarket by submarket, those markets get too much product in it, more product than there is demand. Does that mean it's not a good time to get into business? No. I'll be the first to tell you that there are still plenty of submarkets that have more demand than supply. Our job as a small investor is to find those. The challenge is many people just build them anywhere or build them because they have the land without paying any attention at all to what is the supply, demand, or the dynamics of that particular submarket. I thought we could avoid it. The technology is there to avoid it, but it's happening anyway. And what's frustrating is it happens in slow motion. The technical term for that is called lag, and economists call it lag, and they call it lag because of the construction that's involved. You see it coming for months, even years sometimes, before it hits the market. You know, there's a submarket in our hometown where there's about over 250,000 square feet hitting the market in that particular submarket. And I'm just watching it, knowing it's coming, because there's 3 multi-level 100% climate controls all under construction, all going for the same customer base. And then I heard last week that another one in that same submarket is scheduled and just got approved for construction. You know, what was that guy thinking? He'll be a year behind all these other ones coming up. It's happening in slow motion. Now, why do I say this? Why do I keep repeating this? Well, we've got to be strategic as we get in the business or grow the business. So what that means is if you're considering ground up construction, be very, very cautious. Why? It takes a year or two. And what happens is other products come online, and as we move in, well, you know what comes after hyper supply is a recession. It just always comes. That is the cycle. And a recession comes. Now, yes, our product is great in a recession. You'll lose some occupancy, but you, at least if it goes historically, you won't lose a lot of occupancy. Anywhere from 5 to 10% is what you could lose in occupancy. That's not a killer. But what could be a killer is if you were in lease up, and all of a sudden your lease up starts going 50% of what you projected in your pro forma. In other words, you're leasing up at 500-600 square feet a month rather than 1,200 square feet a month. What happens is that holding period to where you start breaking even gets extended out considerably, and your debt service or your cash you set aside to service that negative cash flow gets eaten up, and you're upside down. or you hit stabilized occupancy with way more debt than you anticipated because you used all your interest reserve and more. Our goal is not to get caught with a bunch of new construction in lease-up when the recession hits and we're at 20-30%. In our business model, we typically hit our break even anywhere from 50 to, on the low end, to maybe 62 or 63% on the high end. I know it's a big range, but depending on the project, that's where it is. And if our absorption gets cut in half, that can really bite into us. That's an alligator ready to snap. So I'm not saying don't do new construction projects. I'm just saying be very, very cautious. We're looking right now at doing new construction in some markets, but I'm hedging my bets. So for example, we're working with a retailer that has a retail concept, and our thoughts are that we partner with that person, have retail on the first floor and then storage above it. And before I rent my first unit, I've got $40,000 to $50,000 worth of income coming in per year to service the debt and help run the operating expenses. Now, in the last recession, we did a mixed-use project, and that is one of the best projects we have in service today. So there's a lot of creative ways to do new construction. Just be very conscious of the decision you're making if you're deciding to do a ground up today, knowing where we are in the economic cycle and what's coming next. You do that, you'll have a great career in this fantastic business of self-storage. Thank you. My name's Mark Helm. I'm the author of Creating Wealth Through Self-Storage, and I'm the creator of the Storage World Analyzer. That's the financial analysis tool we use to analyze those deals as we look at putting them into service. And yes, it does new construction too. So I look forward to being with you next week. Check out the analyzer if you're not using it. And thank you very much for watching these episodes. I appreciate you guys more than you know. Thanks a lot.